And the machines rose from the ashes of nuclear fire, and the war began to annihilate humanity. And it went on for decades, but the final battle will not take place in the future. It will take place here, in our time, right now. I bet you recognize this spine-chilling text and even mentally heard the famous soundtrack. That's right, it's the inimitable Terminator. It's a war of humanity against robots, a battle with artificial intelligence, and ultimately a battle of artificial intelligences. In the movies, a global catastrophe could not be avoided. People turned into outcasts, driven into basements. And they had little chance of victory with fire and iron. But in reality, has anyone ever wondered how deeply artificial intelligence has penetrated our everyday lives? Yes, look around, it's everywhere. It tracks your every step, observes what you eat, listens to whom and what you talk about, advises you on what to watch, where to go, what to buy. It paints pictures for you, generates texts, writes scripts and music, gives advice on how to get rich. You are practically its slaves already. You can't take a step without it. Smartphones, tablets, smart homes, smart speakers, robot vacuums, delivery robots. Who are you without all of this? Nobody. And that's the bitter truth, but not the whole truth. No one knows the whole truth. Why? Because the battle for the future of humanity is not over. It is happening this very hour, this very minute. No joke. Huge transcontinental corporations are locked in an invisible battle for dominion over the planet. And one of them must win. Have you ever wondered why? China has invested over $140 billion in the development of artificial intelligence systems. This is, by the way, 3 times more than what the USA has spent. The answer is simply banal. The winner will gain control over the technologies that define the future. This explains why Trump and Musk have joined forces. And yet, there was a time when Musk seriously criticized Trump. For many, including myself, their partnership came as a real shock. And something tells me they will give their adversaries a hard time. I would highlight 3 main lines of confrontation. The first is large language models. China's Ernie bot from Baidu already processes requests in 12 languages. And do you know how many users the Chinese AI systems have? More than 700 million. And that's, mind you, almost 10 times more than their American counterparts. The second line of confrontation is chips for AI systems. Amazingly, China manages to build specialized factories circumventing American sanctions. In Guizhou province alone, a new generation chip production worth $14 billion has been launched. And I still remember the times when Guizhou was considered a backward mountainous region. Today, it is a national digital hub. The third line is data. Imagine Google processes 24 petabytes of information daily. Out of curiosity, I compared these figures with the data from their opponents. And what did I find? In 2021, ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, processed 40 petabytes of information daily. This is a true technology race. Musk and Trump are responding to the Chinese challenge quite adequately. Elon Musk's X gained access to Tesla's computing power. This includes more than 8,000 latest generation graphics processors. And Trump's system, it integrated with effort, adding 4.5 million active users to the training base, which is truly astonishing. So, this is the pace of development of Chinese neural networks. They are used in 80% of government services, from facial recognition in the subway to predicting economic trends. Unfortunately, the Americans are lagging behind here, as the implementation of developments in the public sector is progressing slowly. It can be assumed that another line of confrontation will soon become quantum computing. In March 2025, China launched the quantum computer Zhujunzi 3. It operates with a quantum sampling of random circuits 15 times faster than the best supercomputers and 6 times faster than the quantum computer, Google. In response, Musk increased investments in SpaceX's quantum developments. What is happening in the camp of American tech giants? Honestly, sometimes it seems like they are performing miracles. When I first saw how Grok works, I was amazed by the creator's genius. Imagine a system that not only answers questions bluntly, but truly understands the context and can even joke. No, I'm not joking. But here it is indeed. By the way, are you aware of why Musk named his neural network that way? Grok? It turned out that the neural network was named after a character from Robert Heinlein's science fiction novel Stranger in a Strange Land. Deis. It means a complete understanding of the essence of a phenomenon, after which the hero embraces it and merges with it. I am sure this perfectly describes the operation of Musk's neural network. Musk acted quite cleverly, judge for yourself. He essentially created an entire ecosystem, first integrating Grok into Platform X, which gave the artificial intelligence access to millions of users and terabytes of data. And all of this feeds the artificial intelligence, making it stronger. And now Tesla, SpaceX, X Neuralink, and the player work as a single organism. Believe me, the scale is impressive. Speaking of American technologies, one cannot help but note how rapidly the system for supporting and protecting citizens is developing. In the USA, it seems every detail is thought out, every little thing, but sometimes there are situations where even artificial intelligence cannot help. And here it is extremely important to know whom to turn to for help. Here's a standard case. You've been in a car accident in America and don't know what to do next. Where to seek help? Where to find a competent lawyer? How to get compensation if you don't have insurance? The company Car Accident America helped obtain $21 million in compensations for its clients. Here they will definitely answer all your questions. Link in the description. And now the most important part. In February 2025, it became known that Musk's team developed and is actively using a completely new approach to artificial intelligence training. Do you know what makes it unique? Unlike Chinese competitors who use massive data sets, the American system learns more selectively, almost like the human brain. But why is Musk so persistently promoting the idea to the masses? Artificial intelligence for the people? After analyzing some data, I came to the conclusion that this is not done without reason. It's a brilliant marketing move. Musk is creating a counterbalance to the Chinese model of state control over artificial intelligence. It's even difficult to predict what will happen when such a model reaches the peak of its power. After all, Musk is not just competing with China. He is offering a fundamentally different path for the development of artificial intelligence. Let's take a look beyond the Great Wall of China. We must admit, the Chinese have much to be proud of. Did you know that in 2024, Ernie Bot from Baidu surpassed the mark of 300 million active users? 300 million? Yes, just think about that number. And people choose Ernie Bot for a reason. It can recognize even the most complex dialects of the Chinese language. While the whole world discusses ChatGPT, the Chinese Wudao boasts nearly 2 trillion training parameters. The system can generate text and create 3D models based on descriptions. It is capable of not only writing essays, poems, and couplets in Chinese, but also generating alternative text based on images. Here I must say, Wudao is undoubtedly impressive. But currently, it is exclusively for internal use. This is its limitation. And what about the international market? For the international market, ByteDance integrates artificial intelligence into TikTok. Imagine, the algorithm predicts your interests so accurately that the average viewing time, videos reach 89 minutes per day per user. This is more than Western social networks. In China, the state actively supports the development of artificial intelligence. Local authorities offer subsidies to expand access to computing power infrastructure. For example, in Shenzhen, there is an annual voucher program. It provides subsidies of up to 50% for companies, universities, and research institutes that rent computing power for training artificial intelligence models. For emerging enterprises, subsidies reach 60%. Largely thanks to such support, WeChat was created in China. And it's not just a messenger. It's a full-fledged ecosystem with built-in artificial intelligence. It serves almost 1.5 billion users. Every day, the system processes over 45 billion messages, constantly learning from new data. Amazing! But Chinese developers have created a special version of the neural network for medicine. It is called CurseCopilot. This neural network advises neurosurgeons, helps to more accurately determine diagnoses, and processes diagnostic examination data, including ultrasound, MRI, and CT scans. To train the artificial intelligence, the authors used about 1 million medical records and scientific works dedicated to neurosurgery. Can you imagine? The system analyzes medical images faster and more accurately than experienced doctors. And of course, we cannot overlook the famous DeepSeek, a kind of Chinese response to GPT-4. This system literally took the artificial intelligence world by storm. You are probably aware that it demonstrates phenomenal results in working with code and mathematical computations. In some tests, even excellently, it surpasses American counterparts. How do you like that fact? DeepSeek solves the most complex algorithmic problems faster than GPT-4 and generates more efficient code. DeepSeek has another feature. It's the approach to training. It's clear why American companies are so alarmed. Chinese developers have created a unique data pre-processing system that allows the neural network to learn from smaller volumes of information but with greater efficiency. This is a serious challenge for OpenAI and Google, who are accustomed to relying on gigantic datasets. In this whole strange story of the Chinese developing their own super neural network, there are several detective-like elements. In January 2025, the company OpenAI accused DeepSeek of illegally using its artificial intelligence model to create its own chatbot. OpenAI claimed that DeepSeek used the ChatGPT model to create its artificial intelligence through the method of knowledge distillation. OpenAI also accused DeepSeek of being state-subsidized and state-controlled. The company recommended that the US government consider a complete ban on models from DeepSeek and similar entities supported by the People's Republic of China. In response, DeepSeek rejected all accusations and stated that the model was trained from scratch without using OpenAI's data. We can only speculate on who is telling the truth. It seems that each side has something to hide, and there is always something to find. There is reason to accuse the opponent of all mortal sins. This is war, after all. And in war, any means are fair. Do you agree? The most interesting part is the plans for the future. Do you know how much the Chinese intend to spend on quantum computing for artificial intelligence? Only in 2025, more than $55 billion. And this means that the technology race is gaining momentum. I think it's not without reason. Western experts are so alarmed by China's successes in the field of artificial intelligence. After all, China is creating not just individual neural networks, but practically a digital ecosystem of the future. Do you agree with this opinion? Write your perspective on what's happening in the comments. Let me say right away, Americans are not lagging behind China in the field of neural network system development. In fact, they are even ahead. Take, for example, the latest developments from OpenAI. Do you know what really impresses about GPT-5? The system has learned to work with video images in real time. See for yourself. It analyzes what's happening on the screen and generates a description, tries to predict the development of events, and strives to notice the smallest details that a human might miss. Yes, we admit in this regard it is not yet perfect. But, as the Chinese themselves say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And for the Americans, this step is far from their first. From Gemini Ultra, from Google, I can tell you that. A real breakthrough. The system, simultaneously, processes text, images, and sound, creating a unified understanding of the context. And do you know what's most impressive? It is capable of solving the most complex mathematical problems at the level of professors. If you compare its performance with the Chinese Wudao, you'll see for yourself the difference is colossal. Cloud 3 can now independently write and analyze system code. Meanwhile, Chinese counterparts are only learning basic programming. In March 2024, the company Anthropic introduced the Cloud 3 model family. This includes Cloud Haiku, a fast model for everyday tasks, Cloud Zone, a versatile medium-sized model, and Cloud Opus, the most powerful model for complex tasks. In February 2025, Anthropic released the first hybrid model, Cloud 3.7. It combines generative and reasoning functions. Now it can communicate with itself. Let's not forget about Microsoft. Microsoft also, Berkeley, decided not to lag behind their colleagues in the risky business and integrated the latest version of Copilot into all their products. Now Word not only corrects errors, but also suggests alternative text developments and Excel. It finds patterns in the data on its own. LibreOffice nervously smokes on the sidelines. Meta, as always, magnificent. I tip my hat. Their new Llama 3 system processes more than 30 languages and dialects. And it doesn't just translate, it analyzes the context. Even linguistic nuances are not a problem. Chinese systems are not yet capable of this, but the latest version of the neural network from DeepMind. That's quite a monster. Hold me back. Yes, it has learned to predict breakthroughs in science. The system analyzes millions of scientific papers and finds promising research directions in medicine, mathematics, biology. Can you imagine how this will accelerate the development of American science? IBM Watson, in my opinion, has revolutionized medicine. The successful diagnosis rate for lung cancer reached 90% compared to 5 to 10% for human doctors. And the main thing is, it does this in seconds by analyzing MRI and CT scans. Chinese developments in this area are lagging behind. What is truly interesting is that Amazon has created a neural network that predicts consumer market trends with high accuracy. It analyzes billions of purchases and social interactions to understand what will become popular in the future. This gives American companies a huge advantage over Chinese competitors. Notice that all these companies have started to combine their developments. Imagine, GPT-5 works with Gemini, Watson integrates with Cloud, and Copilot uses the power of Llama 3. This results in a true technological alliance against Chinese expansion in the field of artificial intelligence. This, in my opinion, are the main trump cards in the hands of Musk and Trump in the fight against China for world dominance. What do you think? Will China be able to keep up with such a pace of development? Be sure to write your opinion in the comments under this video, and share your impressions of using the neural networks I mentioned. In my opinion, they are all somewhat raw and still fall short of human creative capabilities. Do you know what the scariest thing is in the battle of technologies? Is it that trillions of dollars are spent on programs that could become weapons? Yes, of course. But I believe the most disgusting thing here is that artificial intelligence, instead of helping humans, could be used for their enslavement and destruction. Remember the movie The Matrix? People, batteries, and the rulers' machines? Well, human consciousness has always lagged behind technology. That's why technology can get out of control of its creator. What do you think about this? And indeed, the pace of militarization of artificial intelligence in the US-China confrontation is frightening. The Pentagon has invested $15 billion in an autonomous combat systems program, and China responded by creating an entire army of combat drones with neural networks. In the US, the DARPA system is already testing fighter jets with an artificial intelligence pilot capable of making tactical decisions in seconds. China is not lagging behind. Their smart swarm system coordinates the actions of hundreds of drones simultaneously. Can you imagine the scale of the threat? One error in the code and we could end up with an uncontrollable army of robots just like in the movie Terminator. The situation with cyber weapons is particularly concerning. For example, Chinese systems make numerous attempts daily to infiltrate the critical infrastructure of the US. The Americans are not standing idly by. They are responding with the development of quantum defense systems. But what will happen if artificial intelligence finds a way to bypass them? Agree that the situation in the economic sphere is no better. The Chinese digital yuan, supported by artificial intelligence, threatens the hegemony of the dollar. Chinese trading algorithms already control almost 40% of the Asian market. The US is hastily developing its own FedNow system with advanced artificial intelligence. Have you heard anything about the battle for data? Chinese facial recognition systems already cover billions of people. The US, in response, is creating a global digital profiling system. And both sides are using this data to train military neural networks. No less dangerous is the race in the field of quantum computing. The winner in this will gain absolute superiority in the field of artificial intelligence. Both China and the US are developing preemptive response systems. These neural networks are capable of calculating the probability of conflict and automatically taking measures. But what will happen if they decide that the best way to prevent war is to strike first? The development of deep learning technologies is also concerning. After all, the smarter these systems become, the harder it is to predict their behavior. The technological confrontation between the US and China is not just a struggle for world dominance. It is also a clash of two fundamentally different approaches to the future of humanity. On one hand, there is the American model of free AI development, where innovations are born in the competitive environment of private companies. On the other hand, there is the Chinese system of state control, where every algorithm is subordinated to a unified strategy. It is necessary to understand one extremely important point. Artificial intelligence, it is no longer just a technology. It is a new reality, and it changes everything, from everyday life to global politics. It is now important to realize that the future depends not only on who wins this race, but also on whether we can maintain control over the systems we have created. Because in this game, more than just technological superiority is at stake, the very future of human civilization.